And joining me to discuss the concerns over the easing of the lockdown in the country is a public health expert, Dr. Yemisi Soyombo. Good to have you join us, Dr. Yemisi. Now, we see in countries like Taiwan, where they eased their lockdown and everything went fine. Almost looked like Taiwan didn't need the restrictions, to deal with the virus. But in a place like Ghana, when the lockdown was eased, they saw a spike in the rate of infections. So what is the implication of these for us as a country?
Thank you. Good afternoon. Thank you for having me. I feel like looking at the numbers, looking at research, looking at statistics, and looking at what has happened in other countries around us, including African countries, the tendency that there's going to be a spike in patients confirmed with COVID-19 is very high. And there are several factors that would create that concern. Now, the public is focused so much on masks. There's a lot of information on the kind of masks you should use, which of them is 100% or 80% protective. I mean, like Doctor said earlier, there are ways to, even the homemade mask can be double coated or double sewn to give some degree of protection. However, we have been informed that the cotton cloth is better than all other fabrics. So who is going to ensure that all the homemade masks are cotton cloth? And another worry is the fact that wearing of the mask is giving a false sense of security. So what is going to happen is that the masses are wearing the mask and they're forgetting personal hygiene. They're forgetting that wearing the mask is not 100% guarantee that you would not be exposed to the virus, or if exposed, the possibility of getting the virus if other factors are not included. Washing of the hands, the social distancing is very important. As we see today, we have had several pictures going all over the media, in front of banks, in front of public offices, where people are gathered. And yes, you see them wearing the mask, but it feels like every other thing on social distancing has been thrown into the dustbin. So the speculation that there will definitely be an increase is it's really high. The tendency that there will be an increase is pretty high. The false sense, the protection, the employees, the employers. I'm very happy. I saw in the news that the government is producing some degree of PPE for their own staff. How about the people in the private sector? What happens? I also saw in the news that there was some degree of demarcation made in the public transportation system. How about the motorways? How about the downfalls? Who is going to ensure that all those laws are taken into consideration or are actually enforced, really enforced? So a lot of other factors that have been identified as prevention seem like it's being thrown into the dustbin because everyone is focused on the mask around us right now. So my advice would be that if you're an employer,
all right, Dr. Yemisi Soyombo, I'm afraid we do have to leave it there. Many thanks for sharing your perspective with TVC News.